William Shakespeare is a well-known writer, specifically for his plays. And in one of these plays, Hamlet, the main character, Hamlet, is driven into quote-unquote madness. But is it really madness, or is it him being clever? I'm going to answer that question specifically, that he is not mad, but is clever. To understand why Hamlet is called a madman is mainly because of his actions and his way of thinking throughout the play. But to know true madness, we need to define it in the dictionary. Madness is defined as the state of being mentally ill, and the antonym for that is sanity, the ability to think and behave in a normal and rational manner. If you read Hamlet, then you should obviously know about the story. Hamlet is a story about a guy trying to take revenge on his incestuous uncle because of the murder of his father. So to give my evidence of why he is not driven mad, I'm going to start with these. In Act 1, Scene 2, Hamlet is shown to be a depressed person, and that is obvious through the murder of his father, the marrying of his mother to his uncle, in a month after his father's death, and this stating, "Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew, or that the everlasting had not fixed his canon against self-slaughter. Oh God, God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world." Now, in layman's terms, he's basically saying, I wish my dirty flesh could melt away into a vapor, or that God had not made a law against suicide. Oh God, God, how tired, stale, and pointless life is to me. If that does not state depression, then I don't know what will. In fact, Polonius is the first person to be suspicious of Hamlet's madness. Specifically in Act 2, Scene 2, he begins to question Hamlet, with quotes like so, "I will be brief, your noble son is mad." That's when he's talking to Claudius. But later in that same act, he also says, "Though this be madness, yet there's method in it." And even later in the story, Hamlet even questions the ghost he encountered, with quotes like so, "The spirit that I have seen may be the devil, and the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape. Yea, and perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy, as he is very potent, with such spirits abuse me to damn me." Now, if you didn't know what he was still saying, he was basically saying, the ghost I saw may be the devil, and the devil has the power to assume a pleasing disguise. And so he may be taking advantage of my weakness and sadness to bring about my damnation. And if you still don't know what he was saying, he was basically saying, hey, that ghost I saw earlier, that could be Satan. And Satan does bad. So he could be disguising as my father for bad intentions. Another point I could point out is the fact that even though Hamlet is driven by quote-unquote madness, I would disagree with the fact that in the story he makes a play to prove of Claudius's crimes. He wants to prove of his uncle's actions before killing him out of revenge and justice. Now let's look at Gertrude. Does Gertrude also think that he is quote-unquote mad? I would say no. Wanna know why? In Act 2, Scene 2, she basically knows that Hamlet is grieving, with specifically, and I quote, "I doubt it is no other but the main, his father's death and our o'er hasty marriage." And later on in Act 3, Scene 4, when Hamlet is basically being angry at his mother for doing such poor decisions, he says, and I quote, "Make you to ravel all this matter out, that I essentially am not in madness, but mad in craft." That basically means that all this is all calculated. It is all an act. It is all according to my specific plan. I am pretending to be mad to get something out of it. Hamlet obviously pretends to be mad, and a really good point to make is that he tells Ophelia off in one part of the play. When later, when she dies, he confesses saying, "Hey, I did love Ophelia, but with events such like so, it is a very grieving moment." If you decide to read the play again, then you should think about these claims and evidence that I have brought out to you. That Hamlet is not a madman, but a clever boy. Good night.